Welcome to the Aviation Insurance Podcast. I'm Tim Bonnell, and as I'm recording this episode, we are just kicking off 2026. And as we do, we've just put out an episode following up the bold predictions that I had in 2025 and what actually happened. And those things that happened in 2025, they're going to influence significantly what happens in the aviation insurance market in 2026. And so today, I'm going to look at 5 more predictions for the aviation insurance market in 2026. Now, one of the items we discussed that happened in 2025 was that prediction of increased costs of claims and liability awards. That absolutely came true, and we also had some significant losses in the market, including the crash at Washington, D.C., among other significant losses and ongoing attritional losses. So, one of my predictions in 2026 is that reinsurers will quietly kind of pressure the market for increased rates and lowering of capacity for liability limits. So that's a pretty big statement, since we still have some newer markets that are trying to lower rates and are having to lower rates to earn market share, and legacy markets that are having to meet them. But at the end of the day, 2025, there were some significant losses. And ultimately, all insurance companies have to have reinsurance to function in the aviation insurance market. And so when reinsurers increase their costs, underwriting and insurance companies have to increase their premiums as well. And so that is definitely a prediction, is that reinsurers will kind of quietly influence the market towards a less soft market than last year. We probably see some tightening of premium decreases and certainly some potential other increases. And so that's really prediction number 2 is in the U.S. market. We will actually see that softening market. It will start to settle in. We may see some potential increases. It really just depends at the time of the year. The later in the year we go, the more likely this is possible, because there are a lot of reinsurance renewals for our insurance carriers that happen over the summer in June and July. They happen at other times. It really just depends on the insurance company and the year. So this prediction isn't today. It's something I see over the life cycle of the coming year. But the reinsurers changing their rates will lead to the market experiencing the liability limits becoming harder to obtain in some cases, and certainly that softening of the market, the rate decreases going away, and potentially seeing some increased rates. So reinsurance effect, number 1, and then the insurance market effect, number 2. Number 3, we'll continue to see kind of an underwriting shift away from some being really reliant on total time to having more emphasis on the recency of experience. As we look at pilot experience and underwriting aircraft insurance, underwriters are asking more and more about the recency of experience. And that just comes from learning about losses, currency, and pilots who being more current, more up to date, flying more recently, actually being more effective than what the total time says. So that's prediction number 3, is that we'll see a shift in underwriting from being so total time driven to really looking more and weighing heavier that recency of experience in the aircraft and overall as underwriting factors. So it just makes sense. It's not such a bold prediction. Already seeing it in some areas, but I just think that's something we'll see in the market more than we have in the past in 2026. Fourth, we've already seen the emergence of AI and telematics and underwriting, and not so bold prediction, but we will definitely start seeing that increase in 2026 and influencing individual pilot pricing, as we're able to look at the data and make data-driven underwriting decisions, which creates fairness for pilots and for aircraft owners, rather than everyone being categorized in a broad box based on age, based on total time. Individual pilot pricing will be more fair, but that is something that AI and telematics-driven underwriting will facilitate. So we'll see that rise in 2026. Not such a bold prediction, but it will increase as the year goes. More and more insurers will continue to use that type of technology. And finally, we'll see more advanced air mobility insurance solutions becoming standard, or the offerings becoming more clear. As this market continues to evolve, we'll see underwriting standards and and the consistency and what that will look like become more standard and clear rather than kind of one off. And obviously, the longer that market goes, the more predictable and standard that will be. It's still new. There's still a lot of factors that do make case by case influences, but as it emerges, we'll see more standardization across the market. And again, that would be kind of a bolder statement today, but as 2026 progresses, we'll see more and more of that come to light. So this is kind of an overview of those top 5 predictions that I have at the top of my mind. I'm sure there are more. Some of my insurance industry colleagues may add one or take one away. That's fine. I'm fortunate to have the podcast to share mine. Last year, I was pretty much 5 for 5. This year will be interesting. It seems like there's more uncertainty in certain areas, and some of these areas are a little more bold in predictions than others. But we definitely will see that the things that happened in 2025 with increased claims, cost of claims, liability awards, the introduction to the market of AI and telematics-based underwriting, these eVTOL, advanced air mobility, solutions. These things will build in 2026, and we will continue to see the aviation insurance market evolve to address these new risks, to address the increased costs of paying claims and doing business. They will all have an impact in 2026. So I'll look forward to revisiting this episode when we start 2027. With that, I hope everyone has a safe and great year, and obviously that the losses will decrease, and we will see great safe flying and just have a really great year. So that's all for this episode. Join us again next time as we continue navigating the waypoints in aviation insurance. Until then, enjoy clear skies and unlimited visibility.